What if I told you the most profitable growing operation in your zip code doesn't need an acre of farmland? Not outdoor grow beds, not massive greenhouses, not rows of commodity crops baking in the sun. I'm talking about plants that live in your home. Plants that sell for $100, $300, even $1,000 per cutting. Plants that interior designers, plant collectors, high-end restaurants, and wellness companies are actively begging for and cannot find enough of. Most people look at their houseplants and see decoration. The smart ones look at the exact same plants and see a business. And today, I'm going to show you 10 indoor plants that can put $10,000 a month in your pocket if you know what to grow. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The indoor plant market exploded during the pandemic, and it has not slowed down. The global houseplant market is now worth over $20 billion and growing by 8% every single year. But here is the gap nobody is talking about. The demand for rare, specialty, and propagated indoor plants is being driven by millions of plant collectors, lifestyle influencers, and interior designers who cannot find enough quality supply to meet their orders. Etsy sellers are moving $2,000 to $5,000 a month from a single spare bedroom. Plant collectors are trading rare cuttings the way people trade limited edition sneakers, except the plants keep multiplying and the market keeps expanding. The problem isn't demand. The problem is that most people don't know which plants to grow, where to sell them, or how to scale what they already have. That is exactly what this video fixes. Right now. Stick around, because plant number 3 on this list carries a bean that sells for $400 to $600 per pound, making it one of the most expensive spices on the planet, and you can grow it in a sunny window. And plant number 6 produces a velvet leaf so rare and visually stunning that collectors pay $400 for a single pot before it even reaches full maturity. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because we post new videos every week and you don't want to miss what's coming. Let's get into it. Here are 10 profitable indoor plants that can make you $10,000 a month, ranked from impressive to absolutely life-changing. Number 1. Monstera variegata, the $1,000 houseplant the market can't keep up with. Let's start with the plant that has turned bedroom growers into 5-figure earners. Monstera deliciosa in its variegated forms, specifically the Albo variegata and the Thai constellation, sells for anywhere from $100 to $1,500 per cutting on the open market, and demand consistently outstrips supply no matter the season. Here's what makes variegated monsteras a serious business, not just a hobby. Variegation in the Albo is a spontaneous genetic mutation. It cannot be mass-produced at industrial scale. Tissue culture labs have cracked the Thai constellation, but the Albo variegata mutation remains unstable, reverting or disappearing unpredictably, which means it must be hand-propagated, cutting by cutting, forever. That biological ceiling on supply is what keeps prices elevated even as interest continues to climb. The indoor growing requirements are remarkably forgiving. Bright indirect light, a well-draining chunky aeroid mix, and patience are all you need. Once you have established mother plants, you have a cutting machine that runs year-round. A single mother plant in good condition produces 6 to 12 saleable cuttings annually, each one carrying a price tag most people associate with electronics, not houseplants. The target market is massive. Plant collectors on Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook plant groups who are actively hunting for quality variegation and will pay immediately for the right cutting. Think of it as the plant where scarcity is baked in by biology itself, and every cutting you produce is a check waiting to be written. Number 2. Rare philodendrons, the social media plant that turns a single node into serious cash. Philodendrons are not what they were 10 years ago. While the common heartleaf philodendron sells for $2 at a hardware store, its rare cousins operate in a completely different financial league. The pink princess philodendron, with its dramatic pink variegation that no other plant in the world can replicate, regularly fetches $50 to $300 per cutting. The philodendron gloriosum, with its velvety green surface and bold white veins, commands $80 to $400. And the melanochrysum, dark, iridescent, breathtaking, sells for $100 to $600 per mature plant. Here's what makes rare philodendrons a scalable indoor business. They propagate through single nodes. One established mother plant can generate dozens of saleable nodes per year. The investment in a few premium mother plants pays itself back within 2 harvests, and then becomes pure profit. Growing requirements are modest for indoor conditions. Medium to bright indirect light, consistent humidity above 50%, and a well-draining chunky mix. A grow tent with a small humidifier creates the perfect propagation environment in a spare closet, a corner of a bedroom, or a converted shelf unit. The market is passionate and educated. Plant collectors treat rare philodendrons as investment-grade assets. They post wish lists publicly, they pre-order from trusted sellers, and they pay immediately when supply appears. Think of it as a cutting farm, where your product gets more valuable the rarer it looks when it unfurls. Number 3. The vanilla orchid, the world's second most expensive spice growing right in your window. Here's a fact that will completely change how you look at that quiet corner of your home with good light. Vanilla beans sell for $400 to $600 per pound at wholesale, making vanilla the second most expensive spice in the world, behind only saffron. And the vanilla orchid that produces those beans is one of the most elegant, manageable climbing plants you can grow indoors with the right setup. What makes vanilla plantifolia an extraordinary indoor opportunity is the combination of two revenue streams from a single plant. The beans themselves represent a premium end product with an established luxury market. But the plant also carries real value as a collector specimen orchid. Rooted cuttings sell for $30 to $80 each on the low end, and mature vines with documented flowering history command significantly more from dedicated orchid collectors. Growing requirements. This is a climbing orchid that thrives in bright indirect light, high humidity of 70% or above, and a bark-based well-draining mix that mimics its native tropical conditions. Trained up a tall moss pole or trellis, it produces its extraordinarily fragrant flowers, which must be hand-pollinated, beginning around 2 to 3 years of indoor growth. That timeline rewards patience with a product nobody else in your local market is selling. The target market spans specialty bakers sourcing premium vanilla for artisan products, gourmet chefs, natural perfumers, and orchid collectors, who understand exactly how rare a healthy vining vanilla plantifolia truly is. Think of it as the plant that is simultaneously a luxury ingredient factory and a collector's centerpiece. 2 income streams from one pot. Number 4. Rare Hoyas, the wax plant that quietly keeps climbing in value. Hoya is one of the most underrated genera in the profitable indoor plant world, and that underrating is exactly what creates the opportunity. Common Hoya carnosa cuttings sell for a few dollars, but the rare and collector-grade species are a completely different story. Hoya Carey, variegated, that heart-shaped leaf with cream and green marbling, sells for $50 to $200 per cutting. Hoya Wayeti tricolor fetches $40 to $150. Hoya imperialis, with its dramatic large flowers and waxy tropical presence, commands $80 to $300. And Hoya pachaclata, with its thick succulent leaves, can reach $200 to $500 for a mature, established plant. Here's what makes Hoyas a smart, long-term indoor business. They are extraordinarily low maintenance. Bright indirect light, infrequent watering. They actually prefer to dry out between waterings, and they reward what looks like neglect with vigorous, continuous growth. Each established mother plant becomes a cutting machine, producing nodal cuttings you can root and sell on a rolling basis throughout the year. Growing requirements are among the easiest on this entire list. Standard potting mix with added perlite, indirect light, and a warm room is all they need. No humidity tent required, no specialized fertilizer regime. This is a business you can run alongside a full-time job without missing a beat. The target market is the massive and fiercely passionate Hoya collector community. Facebook groups with hundreds of thousands of active members, Etsy shops generating 5 figures monthly, and an Instagram ecosystem where new species drive immediate buying frenzies. Think of it as the plant that proves slow growing doesn't mean slow earning, because Hoyas make up and value everything they take in time. Number 5. Microgreens, the 10-day indoor crop generating $25 to $50 per pound, with no growing season and no off switch. If any plant on this list proves you don't need rare genetics or collector markets to make serious money indoors, it is microgreens. These are seedlings harvested at 7 to 14 days old, and they command prices that defy their simplicity. Pea shoots sell for $25 to $35 per pound. Sunflower microgreens fetch $20 to $40. Specialty mixes, amaranth, nasturtium, basil, or radish, reach $40 to $50 per pound. And none of this requires soil amendment, outdoor seasons, or significant growing space. Just trays, grow lights, seeds, and consistent execution. Here is the math that makes microgreens so compelling. A standard 10 by 20 tray yields 8 to 12 ounces of finished product at a total production cost of $2 to $4. Retail price for that same tray runs $15 to $30. With a modest 50-tray operation, which fits comfortably in a spare bedroom or basement, you can produce multiple harvests per month, because the cycle resets every 10 to 14 days. There is virtually no downtime between crops. Growing requirements are beginner-friendly and investment-light. Wire shelving, grow light strips, a misting bottle, shallow trays, and quality seeds are your entire startup kit. Soil or cocoa coir as a growing medium. Temperature between 65 and 75 degrees. That is the complete system. The market is restaurants wanting fresh microgreens for daily garnishing and plating, farmers markets, CSA subscription boxes, health food stores, and upscale grocery buyers. These are recurring customers who reorder weekly when you deliver consistent quality. Think of it as running a factory, where every product line completes its entire cycle in under 2 weeks, and the market never gets full. Number 6. Rare anthuriums, the velvet leaf collector's plant that commands hundreds per pot. While common anthuriums, those waxy red spathes in supermarket bouquets, sell for $12, the rare velvet leaf anthurium species exist in an entirely different financial reality. Anthurium crystallinum, with its dramatic dark green leaves crossed by silver-white veins that seem to glow under light, sells for $80 to $400 per plant. Anthurium clarinervium fetches $60 to $350. Anthurium magnificum commands premium prices from serious collectors. And Anthurium warockienum, the queen anthurium, with its impossibly long pendant velvet leaves, can command $300 to over $1,000 for a mature specimen. These are not plants people buy on impulse. They are plants people save for, waitlists for, and hunt for across multiple platforms. Here is the business case. Rare anthuriums propagate through offsets, called pups, and through careful rhizome division. A healthy established mother plant produces multiple pups per year. Each pup can be sold immediately as a small starter plant, or grown on to full maturity for dramatically higher returns. The scaling curve rewards patience. Growing requirements are the most demanding on this list, but still completely achievable indoors. High humidity above 60%, bright filtered light, outstanding drainage, and a light aeroid mix are the core needs. A humidity-controlled grow cabinet, or a dedicated corner with a humidifier and shade cloth, creates optimal conditions that most apartments and homes can accommodate. The market is one of the most passionate communities in the entire plant world. Rare anthurium collectors post wish lists publicly on Etsy, TikTok Shop, and in Facebook collector groups, with hundreds of thousands of members. They are educated buyers, they pay without hesitation for authenticated specimens, and they refer other buyers enthusiastically. Think of it as a gallery, where every new leaf that unfurls is a premium piece, and collectors are already waiting at the door before it opens. Number 7. Commercial-scale indoor herbs, the wellness market hiding in your grow light setup. Here is what the wellness industry doesn't advertise. It is desperately short of domestic, high-quality, organically grown herb supply, and it is actively looking for reliable growers to fill that gap. Dried tulsi, also known as holy basil, sells for $20 to $45 per pound. Dried lemon balm fetches $15 to $35 per pound. Dried passion flower leaf commands $20 to $50. Dried peppermint goes for $10 to $25 per pound. And when you sell direct to herbal tea companies, apothecaries, supplement formulators, or wellness brands, you bypass the wholesale middleman and capture the full margin yourself. The indoor advantage here is substantial and rarely discussed. Year-round production with no seasonal interruptions. Complete control over growing conditions, input quality, and organic certification pathways. No weather risk, no frost damage, no drought stress. Herbs like tulsi, lemon balm, and peppermint grow prolifically under quality grow lights and containers, producing multiple cuttable harvests per season with minimal input. Growing requirements are forgiving and scalable. Standard container potting mix, full-spectrum LED grow lights, consistent watering, and light fertilization during active growth periods. A small dedicated shelf or rack can house enough plants to generate meaningful monthly volume once you establish buying relationships with 2 or 3 consistent buyers. The market is expanding faster than domestic supply can keep pace. The global herbal supplement industry is worth over $120 billion and growing. Boutique tea companies, direct-to-consumer wellness brands, natural pharmacies, and artisan herb shops all need reliable local supply with documented growing practices. Think of it as turning your grow setup into a herbal supply chain, with you owning every link from seed to shipment. Number 8. Tillandsia, the air plant that lives on nothing, ships nationwide from your home, and keeps the margins as elevated as it hangs. Tillandsia are one of the most commercially versatile, visually striking, and shippable plants in the indoor growing world, and most growers overlook them entirely because they seem too simple to be profitable. Let me correct that assumption. Individual Tillandsia xerographica specimens, the king of air plants, sell for $15 to $80 each at retail. Custom arrangements mounted on driftwood, shells, slate, or wire structures command $40 to $200 per piece, and enclosed glass terrarium installations for offices and commercial spaces can reach $150 to $400 per unit. The product range is broad, the margins are real, and the shipping advantage is unmatched. Here's why the shipping advantage matters so much. Air plants require no soil and ship dry, without water, without any growing medium. This means you can run a nationwide mail-order business from your home, with packaging costs that are a fraction of what soil-based plants require. A standard flat-rate box can hold dozens of specimens. That is a rare combination in the plant world. High value per unit, extremely low shipping overhead. Growing requirements are minimal, to the point of feeling almost unfair. Bright indirect light, a weekly misting or 20-minute soak bath, and good air circulation between waterings. No pots, no soil, no drainage to manage. A single set of wire shelving under grow lights can accommodate hundreds of plants simultaneously, making vertical density exceptionally high. The market spans interior designers, sourcing sculptural living pieces for commercial interiors, wedding and event florists, creating living wall and centerpiece installations, and individual buyers decorating modern minimalist homes and offices. The living wall and terrarium market alone represents a multi-billion-dollar design category that is consistently undersupplied. Think of it as the business where your entire inventory hangs in the air, and your margins stay just as elevated. Number 9. Rare pothos varieties, the $150 cutting that most people walk past every single day without knowing. Everyone knows pothos. It is the indestructible green vine in every office lobby, every dorm room, every kitchen shelf. But what most people don't know is that behind the common golden pothos exists an entire world of rare, variegated, and collector-grade cultivars trading at prices that would shock anyone used to the $2 hardware store version. Pothos Enjoy, with its crisp, graphic white and green patterned leaves, sells for $25 to $100 per cutting. The Manjula Pothos, with its wavy leaf margins and layered cream variegation, fetches $30 to $120. Global Green commands $30 to $90. And the most prized cultivar of the group, the Pothos Jasenia, with its lime and gold marbling that intensifies under good light, regularly moves for $80 to $150 or more for a single rooted cutting on Etsy and collector platforms. Here is the propagation math that makes rare pothos a compelling business. A single trailing vine can generate 20 to 40 cuttings per growing season depending on vine length. Each cutting roots in plain water in 7 to 14 days with no special equipment. With several established mother vines growing across a shelf or hanging rack, you have a continuous, rolling supply of inventory with minimal lag time between production and sale. Growing conditions are among the easiest on this list: moderate to bright indirect light, standard well-draining potting soil, and light fertilization during active growth. These are among the most forgiving plants in cultivation. They flag visibly when thirsty and recover quickly when watered. The target market is lifestyle plant buyers, gift buyers, and the growing population of beginner collectors who want something visually interesting without the intensity of full rare plant collecting. Think of it as the plant everyone underestimates, and the market that consistently, enthusiastically proves them wrong. Number 10. The variegated and raven ZZ plant, the set-it-and-forget-it plant that multiplies into cash while you sleep. We finish with the plant I saved for last, because it perfectly represents the indoor plant opportunity hiding in the most unassuming package. The standard ZZ plant, Zamioculcas zamiofolia, is sold everywhere for $20 to $30, but its rare cultivars operate in an entirely different category. The Raven ZZ, with its deep purple-black foliage that turns almost ink-dark at maturity, sells for $40 to $120 per plant. The variegated ZZ, with cream, gold, or yellow marbling across its normally uniform green leaves, commands $150 to $600 or more, depending on the quality and consistency of the variegation. Here's what makes ZZ plants such a powerful indoor business model. They grow from underground rhizomes, fat, potato-like storage organs that can be carefully divided and replanted. Each division becomes a new, independent, saleable plant. A single crowded pot of Raven ZZ can be separated into 4 to 6 individual plants every 12 to 18 months, each of which you sell, grow on, and divide again. This is compounding inventory growth, with almost zero additional input cost. Growing requirements are the most forgiving on this entire list. ZZ plants tolerate low light, drought, inconsistent watering, and a wide range of indoor temperatures. They are, arguably, the most neglect-tolerant houseplant in common cultivation, which means your stock stays healthy, even through busy weeks, travel, or seasonal distraction. They are the anti-fragile plant business. The market is lifestyle buyers who want dramatic, low-maintenance specimens for dark corners and minimalist interiors, office plant service companies maintaining commercial accounts, and interior designers specifying bold architectural plants for modern professional spaces. Here's what makes this the perfect plant to close our list. Lemon Balm shows us that the most aggressive plants solve the most stubborn problems. The ZZ plant teaches us the same lesson about business. The plant that survives anything, multiplies on its own timeline, and looks better with age is the business model you want. Think of it as the most stress-resistant operation in indoor horticulture, a plant that thrives on neglect and quietly multiplies into inventory while you sleep. If this video changed how you look at the plants sitting in your home right now, smash that like button. It genuinely helps other people who need this information find this channel. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 10 you are starting with. Are you going into rare collector plants for high-ticket single sales? Are you building a microgreens volume operation? Or are you combining both streams into one indoor business? Subscribe to this channel because next week we are going even deeper, exactly how to price, photograph, and sell these plants for maximum income using platforms you already have access to. Your $10,000 month starts with knowing what to grow. Now you know.